Philippians, God finishes what He starts. God's complete work of redemption in the life of a believer. You could call this a message on eternal security. That's kind of the foundation of it, but we have a lot of other things that we want to say. A great text, Philippians 1, verse number 6. Being confident of this very thing, that He which hath begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. Paul wrote this to the Philippian church, which was the hallmark of his ministry. Now, this was his best church, most faithful church that stayed by his side all his life. When they knew where he was, when they knew where he was, they always sent supplies, and they were a real blessing in Paul's life. Now, Paul didn't know anything about, I hope so, I think so, maybe, Christianity. Being confident. That's the only kind of Christianity there is in the Bible. John wrote about the same thing in 1 John. He said, we know that we have eternal life. The Bible doesn't say anything about let's see, where did we get to the end, if you held out or not. Well, first of all, if it was dependent on us holding out, every one of us would bust hell wide open. But Paul, he talked about when he went someplace, he said, I am confident that when I come to you, there'll be some fruit. When he wrote to the Hebrews, he said, I'm confident that you will do the right thing. And here, being confident of this very thing, which is that He which hath begun a good work in you, first of all, he was confident that these were real believers. He that hath begun a good work in you. Secondly, he was confident that God would finish what He started. He was confident that the work that God was doing in their lives was a good work. And he believed and was confident that one day, either by rapture or by our going to be with Him when we lay down this body, that good work will continue, and that there really will be a gathering of us unto Him, or Him coming for us. Confident. Well, how do you build that kind of confidence? Well, first of all, you've got to have God's salvation, not man's. Man offers a lot of plans and gimmicks, and the Mormon church has this family standard that you have to keep. The Church of Christ say that you have to be baptized, and let me see, who else can I pick on? I just went blank. I'm still thinking about the hair I pulled out of her. Get your mind out of your business. Man's got all these plans. I was thinking of the Jehovah's Witnesses. You have to belong to their denomination to get to heaven. Seventh-day Adventists, if you don't worship on Saturday, you can't. That's just, no. For by grace are you saved through faith. It is the gift of God, not by works, lest any man should boast. Amen. So first of all, you have to have God's salvation, which is in Jesus Christ, the atonement of the shed blood of Jesus Christ, received solely on faith in the grace of God and the blood of Christ without merit. And then secondly, you have to be living. It's got nothing to do with your salvation, but to have the confidence, you have to be living your life in the will of God. There's some basic principles: Bible study, prayer, a good church, living a separated life, godliness. The Bible says, without holiness, no man shall see the Lord. Thirdly, you have to be honestly seeking and living in the will of the Lord. And you have to have enough of the Bible in you that when you fail, and notice I said when you fail, not if you fail. We all fail. Come on, let's be realistic here. But when you fail, that you'll go to the Lord and confess it and get your peace back and go on with your life. So this little verse has some enormously important Bible doctrine in it. Being confident of this very thing, that he which hath begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. Well, the bottom line is, what God starts, God finishes. First and foremost, of course, you have the doctrine of the eternal security of the believer. And then you have, very important, the doctrine of the perseverance of the saints. That's where the word confident comes in. Well, when you consider these two doctrines negatively, you get a lot of opposition. I had matter of fact, the young man that took my place yesterday on that trip that I didn't take, he is a Church of Christ, and he and I were together on that trip the Saturday before, and we had a long discussion about baptism. And I couldn't shake him from the fact, without baptism, you can't go to heaven. And of course, we don't believe that at all. The Bible doesn't say that. You're saved by grace. Baptism is a step of obedience. There is no saving grace in baptism. So consider negatively, if you hold to the doctrine of eternal security and the perseverance of the saints, you're going to catch some flack from other denominations. Positively, it's a great comfort. It's a great comfort. Whatsoever things were written before were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the Scriptures might have hope. The lady that, she's long gone now, that the Roman Catholic Church made a saint, Mother Teresa. Anybody ever hear the story of her dying days? She died with absolutely no hope. They could not convince her on her dying bed that she was going to heaven. Because she believed all the Roman dogma. Had done all that good. I'm not talking about that. She gave her whole life feeding poor people. But folks, that's not going to take you to heaven. And on her dying bed, she confessed that. It's Christ or nothing, folks. Well, God's complete work. There are lots of Bible illustrations. Creation, perfect. Christ's work on earth, perfect. The Scriptures, perfect. The promises, all fulfilled. Your salvation, it is finished. What God starts, God finishes. And we're doing Revelation on Sunday morning. This whole earth thing, from day one to the day God stops it, it will be finished. Life will not always go on like it is now. There's a song, I don't know, you might have the sheet music, but I don't think it was ever put in any of our newer books. Lion's Hill. We used to sing that a lot at funerals. I haven't heard it in years. But God will finish. So, based on my text in Philippians 1:6, let me give you 5 thoughts. Number 1, the work of grace is a good work because it fits us for the enjoyment of God. Ever thought about that? It is the work of grace that fits you for the enjoyment of God. Nobody outside of grace can enjoy God. They hate God. They are intimidated. They feel guilty. They're down with a load of sin. Not until grace comes in and you are saved are you fit for enjoyment of communion with the Lord. Before, I think we have a problem. We've always had a problem, I guess, ever since grace came, that we expect lost people to act like Christians. They can't. It's more than they don't want to. They can't. You couldn't. I couldn't. Until grace comes, they can't. There is this infinite sinner can't go to God and God can't go to sinner. The sinner knows God is angry at them because of their sin. Grace, salvation by grace, is a good work because it fits us for the enjoyment of God. Let me ask you a question, not for any audible response or handshake or anything, but do you daily enjoy some communion with the Lord? Do you enjoy reading the Bible? Do you enjoy your prayer time? Do you enjoy some quiet time? Grace fit you for that. Number 2, it's a good work because it's God's work, not man's work. Amen? It's a good work because it's God's work. If you ever notice this, all false gods, all idols are capricious gods that have to be pleased, pandered to, offered to, paid to, scared to be approached. But our God is a good God, a merciful God, a loving God who loves us and pours grace on us and saves us without any contribution whatsoever from us. We didn't come up with it. God, of His own, before there ever was a planet, worked it all out. God's work is a good work because it is God's work. Thirdly, it is a work begun here, but not finished here. Positionally versus practical. Positionally, the second you received Christ, the Holy Spirit came in, you have eternal redemption. Positionally. But practically, we still struggle, don't we? We still struggle with sin. We still struggle with this body. The body wasn't saved. The Spirit was saved. And we have our tough times through life. Your salvation will not be 100% finally, practically. Positionally, it's done. But practically, until the rapture. That's when body, soul, and spirit will all be perfect. It is this good work that God does began in this life, but it won't end till the rapture or until Jesus comes and you get a new body. It's a work begun here, but not finished here. So the victory now is because Christ in us, the hope of glory. The final victory will not be until the rapture. It's a work begun here, but not finished yet. Number 4, if God didn't finish the work of grace, it never would be finished. John 15, see, Jesus said, without me you can do nothing. That's what it says. Now, we're talking about the spiritual warfare now. We're not talking about anything physical. We're talking about salvation, Christian living, Christian service, staying true, arriving right. We're talking about the whole spectrum of Christianity. Jesus said, without me you can do nothing. We couldn't save ourselves. We cannot keep ourselves safe. We cannot safely get ourselves to heaven. Without God's grace, even Christians wouldn't pick up a Bible. Without God's grace, our prayer life would be a sham. Without God's grace, our churches would be empty. I am incapable in myself of serving the Lord. Not only as pastor, but as anything else. It's all by grace. Without me, ye can do nothing. And I like Jeremiah 10:23. The way of man is Jeremiah 10:23, I think. Yeah, no, Jeremiah 10:29. The way of man is not in him. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. That song, I just listened to it again yesterday. I can't even walk without you holding my hand. So true. So true. You know, I think if we all would realize that more and think about that more, I think we'd all stay closer to the Lord. We'd all be a little more humble. We probably wouldn't be so quick to take credit. It's all the Lord. All the glory and all the praise and all the help and all the honor and all the accolades, every bit of it, 110% of it goes to the Lord. Yeah. We're helpless without him. If God didn't finish it, it would not be finished. Romans 11:36, for of him and through him and to him are all things. To him be glory forever and ever. Amen. And then number 5, God will finish and perfect the work of his hands. We are a work of the hands of God. None of us would be where we are today in our Christian life, and as imperfect as it may be, or to whatever level it may be, none of us got here by our own deals. None of us got here by our own endeavors. We got here by the grace of God. Now, there is human responsibility. I'm not saying to sit down, oh, well, God, here it is. No, there's human responsibility. But if you think that gets the job done, look around the world. God will finish it. Something that we studied not long ago, but let me show it to 2 Peter 3, verse 9. 2 Peter 3, verse 9. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise. In other words, he'll keep his word, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are in it shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation, life, and godliness, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of God, when the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwells righteousness. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that you look for these things, be diligent that you may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. God will finish what he started. Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. Everything that God started in Genesis, he's going to finish in Revelation. The old earth will become new earth. Our old bodies will become new bodies. The old heaven will become a new heaven. The old order will give way to a new order. Every promise will be fulfilled. When time, as you and I know, it will be no man, for there will not be so much as one out of thousands of Bible promises that will not be fulfilled. All promises will be kept. All finished by Christ. Salvation at his first coming, kingdom at his second coming. He that hath begun a good work in you will perform it unto the day